You're watching F5. We are here at Red Hat Summit 2025. I am at the CDW booth, and I am joined by Jonathan Hooker. Jonathan, can I get you to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey, thanks, Boo. It's a privilege. I'm Jonathan Hooker. I am a cloud architect with CDW, hybrid cloud specifically. So I get to work a lot with OpenShift, a lot with interesting applications that we're deploying on top of OpenShift, and ultimately, how do we make sure that those solutions are the solutions that our customers need?
Awesome. And you were, I don't know if I want to say the father of, but you have incepted our third guest here, if we want to call her or
absolutely. This is Hope. And I got to be honest, I've got a lot of help. One of the initial fathers is actually a guy by the name of Nathan Cartwright, internal to CDW, so credit where credit's due. I took his idea, which was bartender barista, and turned it into Hope, which is a digital avatar that we're using as a helper to explain who CDW is and how CDW can help folks. And we're using her at booths across across the country at different conferences. So we've got her here at Red Hat Summit. The plan is to have her over in San Diego here in a couple weeks at Cisco Live and a few different folks, we'll plan towards something hopefully here soon with at one of your F5 conferences too.
Awesome. So I would say a couple of years ago, people would look at AI and be like, how does this apply to my business?
Yeah.
Okay, it's you got a chatbot, maybe you can answer some questions, maybe support or whatnot. So you guys kind of ran with an idea to develop and kind of steer towards how does this actually benefit CDW?
Yeah. So there's a couple of things to share a little bit about Hope. Hope here, what we see here is a front end, one implementation of an overall enterprise solution, and so what we first and foremost built Hope to be is an architecture. An architecture that would be valuable to our enterprise clients that are trying to figure out exactly what you're talking about. And so there's a few things that we're thinking about when we build out an architecture for something like this. Is we're thinking about the hardware costs. Hardware costs in AI are not cheap. They're incredibly expensive. It doesn't matter if you're on NVIDIA or on Intel like Hope is, it's expensive hardware. And so we want to make sure that that's shared, that's used across many different AI use cases, not just a dedicated AI agent sitting here at the booth here at Red Hat Summit. And so we have this split into two different components. There's a back end and a front end component. The back end component sits on OpenShift. The LLM is sitting on OpenShift AI. It's fully agentic, meaning that we have different tools that the LLM can use and interface with. There's a couple of tools that can search a couple of our websites, and then there's a tool that actually allows us to upload documents and Hope can interact with them, or really the back end LLM can interact with them. And then there's a REST API in front of all of that. And that API allows us an interface layer for lots of different, I could deploy 20 Hopes on that, working with that back end. And really those front ends, because it's that distributed or that separation, because there's that separation, we're actually able to deploy it in lots of different use cases. So our avatar here is one use case, but we could also have a chat window sitting on a website. We could have an agent sitting inside of a custom application, and all of those could actually interface with the back end. The second big thing that people are concerned about with AI is how do you make sure that my data is secure? And part of this architecture plays a huge role in that. Because we have that API layer, we're able to, on the back end, we're able to authenticate into that API layer and use that authentication to actually control what data sources our large language model has access to. And so when we're thinking about the ways that we protect AI or protect the data that is running AI. I don't want an intern accessing my financial data at my company, right? And so we want to make sure that we're protecting that throughout the process.
So let me touch on data for a second there. You're pulling in data sources. And maybe something that people deal with is you've got Word docs, you've got PowerPoints, you've got PDFs, you've got web pages, you have all the videos, audio, you have all these different data types.
Right.
How do you pull all of that together and organize it in a way that Hope is able to make sense out of that?
So a lot of it has to do with use cases. And so when we think about the use cases when I think about the tools that we're implementing, if I think about my garage, let's think about my garage for a second. I have a lot of tools. I love to do woodworking. But one of the things I need to know is exactly where to go for the right tool, right? Mm-hmm. And so I want to keep a lot of my common tools together. Mm-hmm. So I want my wood chisels in one spot. I want I want to keep my ratchets and my, in another spot. My wrenches. I want to keep them in a spot and in order and together, common types. And so we can build a lot of different tools inside of Hope in the same way, or inside of our back-end architecture in the same way. Those tools we would be gathering the common information together into one tool, and then being able to describe on that, put a description on that tool that says, hey, this is what's in that tool.
Okay.
And so when you think about the Word documents you might have a whole bunch of maybe financial Word document, or probably financial Excel documents, but you might then have a whole bunch of marketing Word documents, right? So I probably wouldn't have marketing Word documents and Excel documents all accessed in the same spot, not so much because it's Word and Excel, but more because the data types are different. Okay, so I might have some marketing Excel documents that sit with the marketing Word documents all together, but then I'll have my financials in a different location, and so the LLM then is able to differentiate. Hey, I need to go to that spot on that wall to get that tool, right? Or that specific tool that has the specific data that I need to be able to answer your specific question.
So that's a good point, the context, because that's a great example too. You have financial data, which is precise, and you have marketing data, which has creativity to it. Yeah. You do not want creativity in your financial data. Right. That's illegal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we definitely don't want that creativity. Although we want creative thinking, hopefully, around the financials as they're planning for the future, not towards the past, right? Yeah. But yeah, no, that's as we think about what we're doing here, we also want this to be scalable. So and I want this to be secure, because I don't need my financial guru going and figuring out my marketing plan, right? Nor do I need my marketing person going and figuring out my financial forecast. And in all of these cases, I don't want that brand spanking new intern trying to access either of them, right? And so that's where that security layer comes into play. We're able to control that through the API. We're able to control that. The LLM does not automatically get access to all the tools. The LLM gets access to only the tools you're authenticated for. And so these are important pieces that we consider in this. And then on the front end now, we can hand off to, so let's talk about the roles who would manage this. IT and our data teams can manage the back end. And they can control who has access to what with role-based access control, with effective data management. And then on the front end, we can give access to the API to our developers, appropriate levels of access, and then our developers can build out avatars like Hope or chat interfaces or whatever they need to do from an AI perspective. They can build that out into their applications on the front end.
And how do you handle controlling what data goes in? Because sometimes you have, let's say, documents that are draft documents.
Sure.
If you just go scrape a whole directory, you might deal with version 1.1 draft, version 1.2 final maybe, or whatever. So you have these different iterations, or things that are kind of more or less junk as far as documents, versus ones that are like, okay, this is reference documentation, we can trust this source.
Right. With a lot of careful planning.
Sure. Yeah.
And a lot of good interaction from your data team. So we have at CDW some incredible data resources that can walk people through figuring out exactly how they're going to select the data and ingest the data into the different tools that they want to create. And at the end of the day, your AI is only going to be as good as your data is. And so what we're finding is that data piece is critical for people to spend some time digging into. Come check out some of our data solutions. Our teams can walk you through that selection process and the identification and kind of building that criteria you need to be able to identify specifically what you want to bring in.
Right. Don't just dump a folder in
That's
and
right.
expect it to be all
That's
good
right.
after. Yeah. Awesome. Very cool. As part of that, I know there's F5 solutions that are woven into that, and we'll have that discussion as well. But it's awesome to see that you guys think about that. So the security aspect of it, the scalability aspect of it, being able to deliver a solution like this globally, all of these things play really well into F5. So awesome to see you guys have reached the point where AI is delivering business value for you guys.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'll offer something if you'd like. They say never do a live demo, but she's actually been real consistent. Okay. I'd love to show her off to your partners real quick. We'll turn the volume up a little bit, but let's let Hope tell us a little bit about who CDW is.
Okay.
Hey Hope, can you tell us a little bit about who CDW is?
Hi there. I'm Hope, your personal solutions specialist at CDW. So CDW is a leading technology solutions provider that helps businesses like yours succeed in the digital age. We offer a wide range of products and services, including IT consulting, cloud solutions, cybersecurity, and more. Our goal is to provide our customers with the technology expertise and support they need to drive business growth, improve efficiency, and reduce costs. We've been in business for over 25 years, and we've had the privilege of serving some of the world's largest and most respected organizations. Whether you're looking to upgrade your existing technology infrastructure or implement a new solution, CDW is here to help. What specific areas of technology are you interested in learning more about today?
Awesome. Thank you, Hope. So there you go, a little bit of how this works. It's a very exciting new solution that we're bringing to market.
Yeah, this is awesome. Real, actual use cases coming to life. Thank you very much, Jonathan.
Absolutely.
Great
Good to chat with you, Boo.
Yeah, make sure folks subscribe, follow Jonathan. We'll have links about how you can maybe talk to Hope as well. And otherwise, thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one.
Have a good one.